Everyone, and welcome to the Bryan Arts and Education Auditorium. My name is Nicholas Simul. I'm the Director of Orchestras here at Bryan City Schools, and I'm so happy you're all here to join us today for the 8th grade and high school orchestra concert. The students have a lot of really great music to share, and we just finished our warm-ups, and they have gone fantastically well. It sounds beautiful. I can't wait for you to hear everything they have to share today. Before we get started with the music, there are two sets of announcements that we have to go through. The first is going to be a brief statement by one of the members of our Music Boosters, which is in charge of supporting all the arts here in Bryan: band, orchestra, choir, and alternative strings or rock band course. After that, there'll be a brief presentation by Jeff from Custom Fundraising Solutions, who will detail the upcoming mattress fundraiser that we're holding. We have a trip coming up next year for the entire high school orchestra department in spring of 2027, and this is one of several fundraisers that we're going to have lined up in order to help send students to a place that is currently undisclosed at the moment. I can't wait to tell you what it is, but in the meantime, buy a mattress. Here we go. First up, presentation from the Boosters and Angie.
Hi everyone, I'm Angie Burton. My son is in the orchestra. As a member of the Boosters, I just want to let you know a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of planning and a lot of organizing that goes into providing support to the students, not only orchestra, but all of the programs, as Mr. Simul mentioned. Out in the lobby area, there is a table, and there are 3 boxes that are designated specifically for donations. So if you missed it on your way in and you feel compelled to make a donation, we would greatly appreciate it. All of the funds do go back to the students and the programs that they participate in. It's a great experience for the kids, and it's nice that we have such a supportive booster program that we can offer additional assistance to them. There are also decals that are for sale, and there's some free stickers out there for kids if they are interested in them. They're just music stickers, they're really cute. So also there are in your programs, as well as on the table out back, there are membership forms. If you're interested in being more active in the Boosters, we would love to have as many people as possible come join us, because it is, like I said, it's a lot of decisions and it's a lot of fun. And it's all to support the kids. So please make a donation or volunteer if you have time. Thanks.
Good afternoon, folks. How are you? Don't think for a minute that I don't feel the intense pressure of being the last person standing between you and what I'm sure is going to be an excellent concert. So I will be brief. My name's Jeff. I'm with Custom Fundraising Solutions, and I'm here to talk to you very briefly about the mattress fundraiser that I assume, since this is actually the 6th year that we've done this here at Bryan, 2nd year in a row. I think prior to last year, the last time was, I think, 2022. But real quickly, how many here have actually heard of the mattress fundraiser or maybe purchased from the mattress fundraiser in the past? Anybody? Although I can see barely silhouettes. I see a few hands out there. That's perfect. Thank you. For those of you who are uninitiated as it relates to the fundraiser, this concept has existed for about 20 years now. And it started in the Cleveland area. It's now nationwide. In fact, we have, I think, 75 or 80 franchises across the country, and in the 20 years that we've done this, we have raised over $70 million for school programs just like this. We work with a lot of music programs, athletic programs. As I said to the earlier concert today, we did an event in Upper St. Clair, Pennsylvania yesterday for a speech and debate team. So basically what that means is every program in a school which needs to raise money, which is essentially all of them, we have probably held a mattress fundraiser for them. So it's an effective way to raise money, mainly for the reason that's the obvious reason, and that is that everybody needs a mattress at some point. Most of you have multiple mattresses in your house at the same time. And this works for that reason, and also about 10% of the population buys a new mattress every year. So there's a constant kind of revolving customer base for a product like this. And so our idea was, why not try to capture some of those people that are already going to make this purchase and do it at the fundraiser and benefit, in this case, the orchestra at the same time. So you may be asking, why would I buy a mattress at a fundraiser as opposed to a typical mattress store? There's really two reasons. One, name brand, American-made mattresses with full factory warranties. These are brand new beds, they're made to order. You don't even have to take a mattress home with you on the day of the sale. We can ship product directly to you, typically about 2 to 3 weeks after the sale. But the other reason, maybe the more important one, is because we are setting up in your school, and because we don't have a marketing department, if you will, I'm gonna get to that because that's a role that all of you play, we can offer this same name brand product, brands like Purple and Beauty Rest and Helix and Therapeutic, just to name a few. These are brands that you will see if you research mattresses anywhere. But we can offer that product for considerably less because we don't have those really big overhead expenses, that is retail rent and marketing. So that is kind of the pitch. Great product at great prices with full factory warranties. And as I said, every mattress we sell is made in America. It's tough to find product made in the US. We did it with the mattresses. Full disclosure, by the way, pillows and adjustable bed frames, those we've yet to be able to source in America. So those products are imported, but the majority of the product that we sell is made in the US. So how does it actually benefit the program? Essentially what happens is about 40% of the net proceeds from the sale goes right back to the program. I believe last year, maybe Mr. Simul can correct me, but I think last year the orchestra made right around $3,000, I believe, and that's the result of a one-day sale, which, by the way, I should mention, the sale is November 1st, so right around the corner, from 10 o'clock until 4 o'clock at the high school. If any of you picked up a program, there's probably one of these mattress fundraiser flyers in it that also has all the information you'll need should I forget to mention something, which I invariably do. So let's get to your role. Obviously, I saw a bunch of hands up, so several of you have purchased mattresses from this fundraiser before, which we greatly appreciate. And that is the obvious way that you can help the program, is by purchasing a mattress should you need one. Now this is a unique fundraiser in the sense that if you don't need one, nobody expects you to buy one just because if you shop for mattresses lately, they are expensive. These are not inexpensive products. Even a cheap mattress costs quite a bit of money. Certainly much more than cookie dough or cheesy popcorn or any other typical fundraising product. But if you don't need a mattress and still want to help the program out, you can do so by simply talking about the sale, promoting it to all the people that you know. And the best way to do that is simply word of mouth. About 90% of the mattresses we sell at every sale that we have is the direct result of a personal referral, which is either the students in the program or parents associated with the program, the directors of the program, simply talking to people about it, letting them know it's happening, and then those people coming in and making those purchases. One of the easiest ways to do that, in addition to just telling people about it, you'll notice, and I suspect if you're all good people, which I know you are, you probably have your phones turned off so that you don't interrupt the concert. Maybe when you get home, you'll notice on this flyer there is a phone number with a text message that is Bryan25. You can simply text that message to the phone number that's on the flyer. You will then be signed up for our text marketing campaign. We will not sell your phone number, I promise. This is simply to use so that you can get the messages that get sent to you as a result of signing up and forward those to people in your contact list. Quick and easy way to get the word out to people. Cost you nothing, which, by the way, the fundraiser cost the orchestra nothing. This is a fundraiser that they don't have to buy any product up front. There are no minimums. There's nothing of that sort. We do all of the heavy lifting as it relates to fundraising. Ordering the product, staffing the sale, delivering the product if necessary, all of that stuff. So all of the orchestra needs to really do is to promote the sale. So I mentioned the payout for the schools, like I said, about 40% of the net proceeds. We also try to incentivize the students. I know last year there were several students that had referrals that bought mattresses, and those students, I don't know if there's any here today that had some mattresses last year, but they would have received a $25 Amazon gift card for the first 2 mattress referrals that they're responsible for. So if mom and dad buy a bed, there's a $25 gift card. If grandma and grandpa buy a bed, there's another $25 gift card. Every mattress after that they have the referral for, it's $50. Just to put that into context real quick, a student in one of the schools that we worked with in Pennsylvania last year made $2,000 in Amazon gift card money. That student got lucky. That student had a connection to a rehab facility that happened to need a whole bunch of mattresses, bought them, and that student made $2,000 in Amazon gift card money. But it is not uncommon for students to make $150 or $200 in Amazon gift cards simply by telling people about the sale and those people coming in and purchasing a mattress. So that's basically my spiel. I appreciate your time. I will let you enjoy the concert. Thank you very much.
Okay, 4A Orchestra, 1, 2, 8, go.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to our fall concert. My name is Lily, and I play the violin in the 8th grade orchestra. Our first piece is called Creatures, and it tells the story of a dark and sinister night full of strange happenings and ghoulish encounters. From under the ground, from the sewers, and behind dark alleys, creatures begin to emerge on Halloween night. The melodies are filled with chromatic half-steps and tree tones, creating a constantly unsettled feeling. The cellos and basses play on the lower strings, mimicking the grumbles of foul beasts, while the violas and violins use special techniques to mimic shrieks as the sun begins to rise at the end of an imaginary tale. Listen closely for the distant footsteps of the creatures crawling back to the shadows. Enjoy!
cello, and the 8th grade orchestra. We continue our concert with an 8th grade orchestra staple called night shift. We focused on the important skill of shifting, which is where we move our hands down the fingerboard of the instrument to access new higher notes. Every group in the orchestra gets the main melody, requiring them to complete multiple shifts back and forth. It requires careful practice and diligent tuning. The piece itself is memorable, with an infectious melody and driving rhythmic line. Whoever said educational music had to be boring, please enjoy Night Shift.
Hello, my name is Landon and I play the violin in the 8th grade orchestra. Next up, we'll take you back to the 80s with Michael Jackson's smash hit, Thriller. This album, which featured Thriller, rose to numbers on the Billboard charts, and the accompanying music videos hailed as the most famous music video of all. This song has a hypnotic bass line played by the cellos and basses, and the groove itself harks back to disco sound. As a special guest, we'd like to introduce the original artist, Michael Jackson, who is filling in on second violin. Thanks for being here, MJ. Here's our orchestra take on Thriller.
a medley of some of Halloween's most memorable hits, including Ghostbusters, Scooby-Doo theme song, and Monster Mash. The melodies have been carefully arranged for the strings, and every section gets a chance to play the tune. Here's Rockin' Halloween.
that we're about to undergo is going to take about maybe 60 seconds or less as we pull out the high school orchestra to sit directly behind the 8th grade, and we're going to do one big combined piece. This might go a little bit quicker. Go ahead. Story goes, or maybe last week, aliens came down from outer space into the orchestra room. They took our rock stops, they took our tuners, and caused a havoc. This is a retelling of that story. So without further ado, Rosin, Eating Zombies from Outer Space by Richard Meyer. At this moment, I will dismiss the 8th graders from the stage, drop your instruments off underneath here, take a seat in the audience. The high school is going to pull forward, and we're going to continue with the end of our concert. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Nye Bradley, and I play the violin in the high school orchestra. Our first piece we will perform is called Polaris. It is written with a sweeping, cinematic theme in the style of movie and video game soundtrack. Every section plays this main theme with intense rhythms in the background, driving the music forward. In the composer's own words, Polaris represents the wild and adventurous spirit within each of us, and the value of using signs like the North Star to always find your way home.
Hello, my name is Phil Berry, and I play the violin in the high school orchestra. Snow monsters, gargoyles, and zombies. Oh my, it seems like at every concert, some kind of creature is out to get us. Well, in a surprise twist, the setting for today's showdown involves some sweet southern heat, hotter than a Cajun barbecue, and our next piece conjures up images of the deep south, filled with jazzy syncopations and furious bows from beginning to end. We are heading to the Louisiana Bayou, and underneath the water, something is lurking. Shrouded in the darkness, lying in wait, and ready to attack. Buckle up as the Bryan Orchestra takes on the Swamp Thing.
Hello, my name is Henry Burton, and I play the cello in the high school orchestra. Our next selection is called Farandole, written by George Bizet. The music originally served as background music for a dramatic stage work written in 1872, but the melody itself is far older. The main theme of this piece comes from an old French carol, March of the Kings, telling the Christmas story of the wise men. The opening statement is slow and majestic, written in G minor. Suddenly, the tempo changes into an allegro variation and switches to the happier G major key. A truly energetic and joyful march. Please enjoy Farandole.
Hello, my name is Owen.
And my name is Maya, and we play the violi in the high school orchestra.
The last selection for this evening's concert is called Forest Incantation.
It is highly rhythmic, with pulsating patterns in the low strings resembling drums echoing through the darkness.
The violins will captivate you, flying gracefully and effortlessly with fast 16th notes through the trees.
The middle section slows down, creating a sense of stillness like a gentle autumn breeze before returning to the opening material.
It will feature senior Christian Craig on the violin. Thank you so much for
coming to our concert. Please enjoy Forest Incantations.
That concludes our concert for this evening. Thank you all very much for being here and supporting our orchestra program. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and a wonderful start to your week.